Welcome. Welcome back to What She Said Sports. Okay, so I was just catching up on the latest on today's news, the world news. And I think I was sitting there with my mouth open most of the time. I want y'all to look up something. I want you to look up what's described as art. It was supposedly a painting from 1591. And it said it depicted a scene from the Bible, but I don't think that came from the Bible. And I don't know what Bible it came from. But it's not just the painting, because people know about the painting. Like I said, it's been around since 1591. But it was commissioned by the subject of the e-files. And there's an email that you need to read, because the email from 2011 was requesting that painting, which was commissioned by the main subject of the e-files, to be sent to a ranch out in New Mexico named after an old TV show, Zorro. I think it's called Zorro Ranch. And when you read the email, I want you to remember this. The way things are today, they may not be tomorrow. And considering that this is from 2011, it just proves that everybody knew what email says. So just look it up. You can start looking by the painting and backtrack to the email. The email has one of those numbers on the bottom of it that proves that where it came from, that it was logged as evidence since 2011. Well, I don't know how long they've had it. I will say that. I don't know how long they had the email, but the email itself is from 2011, which means this has been going on for a really, really long time. And all the attention is getting ready to turn to New Mexico. All right. So welcome back to What She Said Sports. I'm Nola Girl checking in. This is the latest buzz. And I put together a good show for you. I'm shook by what I read. So give me a second. Give me a second. Yeah, we're going to have a good show. All right. So first and foremost, I put Angel Reese on tonight's show because apparently there was I guess you could say it was a online social media poll. And in the poll, they were, I guess, discussing who's the prettiest female athlete in the United States. And Angel Reese's name came up. And I don't find that to be anything that's shocking, because she's a beautiful young lady, right? She's tall, so she stands out that way, but she's pretty. She's pretty with makeup. She's pretty without makeup, and I say the girlfriend, Angel Reese, really, really classy with the way that she dresses. She's popular, and she's an elite basketball player. So she has a lot going for her, right? So I wasn't shocked that people would say that, she's one of the prettiest athletes in the U.S., but apparently some people took offense to it and got in their little feelings and basically asked, have you seen this person? Have you seen that person? And one of the people they asked, did you see, is Sophie Cunningham. And I'm like, this proves right here that what's pretty to one group of people is different and maybe not attractive to another group of people. So I think that that's where all of the backlash is coming from. And, Angel has learned to master the hate. And I told y'all when I started this channel, I was talking about Angel and I was talking about Shedeur Sanders, how they both get such vitriol. And I also said how in Angel's second year in the WNBA, that she's getting all of the fruits of her hard work, right? She did, she loves fashion. She did the Victoria's Secret's runway. She has her own shoe with Reebok, and she just issued a rose dust colorway. And she's going back to Unrivaled Basketball. So she's joining the Rose Basketball Club, and she's going to join them. It's late in their season. It ends in March. So they're getting ready for the playoffs. So she's going to help them make a playoff push for Rose Basketball. So, she did all the things she wanted to do with it. I guess they called her and asked her, did she want to come and help them get to the playoffs? And she said yes, because she had initially opted out of Unrivaled basketball for the season. So I'm glad to see her get back out there. But it also proves that she is healthy, because remember, I told y'all I watched her last season, but once she got injured, she had a back injury. I was done. So that means she's back healthy, and this will be a good segue for her, because she is committed to going back to to the WNBA. But in addition to that, Angel Reese is also going to be playing. You know how they do the Olympics game, the Olympic basketball for the USA? She's going to be on the USA Olympic team. So shout out to Angel Reese, still getting a lot of the fruits of all of her hard work. And it makes it for her to shrug off all of the vitriol. So I personally think, I haven't looked at all of the female athletes, but I don't think it's a far stretch based on who was on the poll. I don't know who it was. I didn't see it. That she would win, because she's really pretty. So shout out to Angel Reese. I just wanted to share that with y'all. This was the post that said that she won, and people went nuts. They went nuts afterwards. I'm like, let the girl live. Just let the girl live. So shout out to Angel Reese for everything that she has up and coming. And, don't worry about these folks. All right. So moving right along. Shiloh went snowboarding. And I have a clip of that. We can take a look at that. But in addition to that, it's the HBCU Legacy Bowl. And I'm so proud of all of the marketing that they've been doing. Their social media is popping. It's in partnership with the NFL. And the guys are having a really good time. So I wanted to share this clip on how much fun they were having. But they also have a lot of, they did really good with their marketing. They posted a lot of clips of the players at practice. Remember, if you don't know, the Legacy Bowl is actually in New Orleans, and it's this weekend. I think it's the 21st. So this is one of the clips with them having a good time. I just wanted to share it. So, maybe I didn't. You know what? I may have not had the audio off. I probably didn't even record it without the audio. Like I said, I was multitasking. So I'll tell you what it was. The video was asking them who's your celebrity look-alike. So they, like this one little guy, he said he looked like Lil Baby. And then he said he looked like him. And he said he looked like Michael B. Jordan. The white guy said he looked like Michael B. Jordan. So I think when I recorded it, I forgot the audio. My bad. Again, I was a little shook. I was actually sitting in front of the TV with my mouth open. And I had to shake myself off so I could get it. Somebody said it looked like Bruno Mars. So I just kind of wanted to give y'all a sneak peek inside the that's Young Thug. Somebody said he looked like Young Thug. That's funny. That's Michael B. Jordan. So, and Morris Chestnut. So the guys are being treated well. They're in New Orleans, look like for a whole week. The game is coming up this Saturday, the HBCU Legacy Bowl. Go check it out. Now, I will tell y'all, if I was to start my own league, right, whether it's 7-on-7 flag football or full-on 12-on-12, 11-on-11 flag football, I would, and you can take notes if you want to do this, I would take the list of all of the players who were at the Legacy Bowl for HBCUs and maybe pair up with some of their agents, because there's some, they have agents of representation, and see if they would be interested in playing you can't say it's the HBCU league because they're finished with college after this, right? Well, some of them are. And then you don't want to put an HBCU name on it because then that makes them a target. So like something like the Hill 7-on-7 league, right? The Hill is what we talk about when we talk about HBCUs, the yard of the Hill, something like that. And it indicates that they're former HBCU players. And all you have to play, if you had 60 hours of HBCU football, you're eligible to try out. And then there's a field here in Atlanta that you can use as long as the high school's not using it. It's really nice. I think I shared pictures of it previously. And then we play a 7-on-7 game, maybe a flag football game or a couple of them, depending on how long the games are. But if you follow the format that's already out there, these games can last a full 4 quarters. So what y'all think about that? I think that would be good to start with HBCU players because, oftentimes they get overlooked by the NFL, even though this HBCU Legacy Bowl is in conjunction with the NFL. I think like year before last or last year, they didn't draft any players from the HBCU combine. I think last year it was 1. and it was a guy that was drafted right before Shedeur. He went to Alabama A&M, and he ended up going to where LaJohntay is, to the Baltimore Ravens. So I think this is a good group to start with. I still might do it. But I ran into a post with this lady. She's an agent. And I caught myself saving it when I was on vacation, getting on and off the planes. But I have yet to go back and find it. So I'm looking through it. So if y'all see a post with a black lady who's an agent for some HBCU players, sports agent, y'all send it to me so I can ask her. Because she's going to be the first agent I reach out to. But I just think it would be a good idea. You know, the hill or the yard, 7-on-7 football, whatever, however you want to say it. What y'all think about that? Let me know. So I just wanted to share with y'all that the Legacy Bowl is this weekend. And if anybody is thinking about starting their own league or putting together something with HBCU players, using the Legacy Bowl is where they've already identified the best players. So you can start from there. Now, since it's in partnership with the NFL, I don't know if they signed something that kind of prevents that from happening. That's why you got to always read the fine print. So, you know, or if it would eliminate them from future Legacy Bowls if they decide to, you know, do it this year. So you got to read the fine print. I thought about that. I said, oh, maybe they signed something. So you have to make sure they didn't sign anything that said they couldn't do it. But I think it's a good idea. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about it. The hill or the yard, 7-on-7 or full-on flag football. I like the idea. All right, so that's in New Orleans this weekend. I might see if I can catch a bit of the Legacy Bowl. If I don't catch it live, I'll just probably watch the replay. I actually think I watched it last year, and that's when I started thinking about that. So let me know what y'all think. All right, so let's move on to Shiloh. Shiloh went snowboarding. If I said skiing, my apologies. My brain is actually going this way, and my words are coming from this direction. Shiloh went snowboarding. Now, I'm not going to show you the whole video. I'm just show you a clip of it, but I want you to go watch it. He did really good, but he failed. So let's take a look. It was funny, but he did hurt himself. So we're going to take a look at it, and I want y'all to go watch the full-length video. But it looked like he was having a good time until he fell.
Oh,
so them getting on the ski lift. Okay, let me give you some context. All right, so Shiloh is in Breckenridge, and apparently he has a friend who's married, and they have a son. So he met up with them because the wife snowboards, is learning to snowboard, and then the kid looked like he can do a little something too. So these are Shiloh's friends, and he went snowboarding with them in Breckenridge.
If you guys want to learn how to snowboard, just buy a rip stick, and it's really easy. If you could do that, you can snowboard. Are you proud of how early I woke up today? I woke them up today.
Hey, YouTube, wherever this is going. If you're an adult and you sleep past 9 a.m., you're just a bitch.
All right, we're off. I told them, don't make us all look black and stupid. You're gonna make us look like we're not supposed to belong up here, my boy.
Just find the blue, don't go any blacks.
Niggas, Black History Month, we're doing all the blacks. We're going on blacks only, it's Black History Month, come on.
So it seems to me that when Shiloh go places, he automatically starts counting the number of black people there. Do that too. That's why I'm like, oh, okay. It's like you just automatically take in who's black around you, which is hilarious. Because remember, he did this at NASCAR. So he said we need to look like we belong up here. And I want Shiloh to know there's a whole Black Ski Summit, boo. It's one in the U.S., and you have our international cousins who come, and they have their own in other parts of the world. And then there's Zeb Powell, who's a friend of his, and there's a lot of black people starting to get into snowboarding. So you're not alone, Shiloh. You're not alone.
I feel good, my boy.
That's him right there. Look at how smooth he is. You see that? I'm impressed. Shiloh is so talented. And his cameraman is
fast,
too.
Y'all.
Do you see how smooth Shiloh is?
Bro, you're trash, bro. You're about to make me run into you now.
I can't figure out who's recording.
Who's over here? Where'd Derek go? I told y'all, bro, Derek's trash. I don't know where Derek went.
He's stuck in the tree.
Of course he is. Look at this scenery, you guys.
It's beautiful. The
Look
scenery
at the scenery.
is gorgeous. That's the first thing I noticed.
I'm in the mountains in Colorado. Hey, Derek, you're trash, buddy. All right, how fast are you comfortable going?
Look at this. I don't think Shiloh's too comfortable going too
That
fast.
is too fast.
Yeah.
I'm going too fast. Ah. I'll be getting scared.
Yeah.
Where's the terrain park?
Look at how smooth that is.
Right here? Please don't be a sticky box.
That's one. Nice.
I wasn't gonna jump off that.
That was good. That was good.
I'm not that bad, right?
That was pretty good, right?
What is this going on right here?
Can you do that?
No, I'm not doing that.
I can't imagine.
This one might be too advanced for me, bro. This park might be too advanced for me.
Okay,
It's too late,
so
my bad.
he's saying that he thought the
I
little
would
part where they
never
were
let
might be too advanced
anything
because you
happen to you,
saw
bro. You
how
ready
they
for
kind of
this
had it roped off with the caution area.
Oh, they're standing right in front
So
of us.
they're going to another part.
All right, so look, if you're getting off the lift, show them real quick. Do not stand right there, bro. If you stand right there, you're gonna get hit, and then you're gonna have to fall. Ah! I gotta do this. I gotta do it, bro.
Shout out to the cameraman. Shout out to Shiloh.
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
Ooh, 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 ooh.
I'm done, bro. I'm done. You know what happened? I hit the front lip. It didn't hurt that bad. I just fell on the rail. It looked worse than it was. That first one, I hit that bitch right.
Now, he said he was done. And I said, and he seriously said he was done. Go watch and see what happened next. And he shows how he hurt himself. So I don't know why he said he was done. I don't know if it's because he failed and he still wants to try to play in the NFL, or because, I mean, we're talking about the hardest hitting state in college football. What, not last year, but year before, right? So how are you done because you failed with the way y'all hit people in football? I was like, maybe it's because he still wants to play. So go check it out. He shows his injury. He really did hurt himself. And but he's smooth with it, right? And Shiloh's good. And Zeb Powell, I was watching some of his footage when I was watching this. Zeb Powell is so smooth of a snowboarder. He's a black snowboarder. And he's so smooth with it, you'll think I could get out there and try it. He makes that look easy. Shiloh is actually really good. Really good. So do we have any snowboarders in the house? Do we have any people that have actually tried it or that actually, keep up with it? That's your thing. That's your hobby. Anybody that just went skiing, that's part of maybe the Black Ski Summit or any ski clubs, just let me know we have any skiers in the house, any snowboarders in the house. I'm just curious. Shout out to Shiloh. Go watch the rest of the video. Go watch the whole video, actually. That's just a small snippet. I wanted y'all to see how talented Shiloh is. When Coach Prime said Shiloh could do anything he wants to do, including snowboarding. But for whatever reason, he said he done. So y'all let me know why y'all think he's done. Why y'all think he's done. Because football is, to me, more dangerous than that. But let me know your thoughts. All right. So shout out to Shiloh for sharing that info. That was nice. I was actually waiting for him to go snowboarding. But did y'all see like how he fell? Like, oof. Honestly, I think I've skied before. I've never snowboarded. I just think it will be hard for me to get used to snowboarding because your feet are planted on one board. Whereas with skis, you got the left and the right. And if something happened on the left, I could maybe shift to my right. But I want to try it because Shiloh makes it look like fun, except for the falling part. But believe me, I'm not trying to hop off no pipes and nothing like that. But I kind of want to try it. So let me know what y'all think. All right. So welcome there, 110 of us. Hit the like button. All right, let's move over to Shedeur and the Cleveland Browns. All right. So Shedeur posted today after Wyatt Teller posted he was leaving. Shedeur shared this. Wyatt Teller said, I wish you were different. And Shedeur said, gonna miss you, bro. So this gives me the impression that they bonded more than just on the field. They probably bonded off the field. We saw how Wyatt Teller stuck up for himself. It was like, I'm not hurt. And, his wife, after Stefanski got fired, said, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And we saw how he celebrated Shedeur. So it seems like there was some kind of bond there. And what do we say? The people that gravitate towards Shedeur get put out, basically. That's what it is. But this is just one of the O linemen who are free agents. Now, they already know Wyatt Teller's gone. He's saying goodbye, right? Moving on. I think he's been in the league. He's been with Cleveland 7 years. So he'll likely find a new home somewhere else. But then there's the other O lineman, Cam Robinson, KT Levingston, I do believe, Ethan Posick, the center, and Joel Batonio and whoever else on the right. I don't think Jack Conklin. He might be. Jack Conklin might be, but it was Wyatt Teller for sure. It was Wyatt Teller. That's who it was. That's the other person, the right guard. So I read today that Tony Grossi was sharing that there seemed to be working things out and the probability for Batonio to return has increased. So apparently there was some voids in his contract. And seemingly he was just going to leave or retire rather than come back to Cleveland with those voids in his contract. According to Tony Grossi, they have removed the voids in his contract. Something the rookies, have to fight for. The Browns appear to be accommodating Joel Batonio and moving on from Wyatt Teller. So what it tells me is they are not serious about winning, and they want to hang on to Batonio because there's a service that he provides. And Wyatt Teller, showed support for Shedeur. So he got to go. So this is full-on retaliation. This is full-on intimidation. This is full-on coercion and rewarding nefarious behavior because the dirt divers were caught on camera and seemingly they don't care. And I'm just going to say it one more time. But the way things are today, they may not be tomorrow. I'm just going to keep saying that because the Browns are moving as if they're too good to be challenged. And to be honest with you, they should be challenged. And I asked in a poll today, I took a poll and I wanted to know, based off some information that I shared, if people thought my statement was true or false. So I'll read it to you. If you took the poll, thank you. I think last time I checked, it was about at 72 people. And overwhelmingly, people agreed with what I wrote. But I'm going to share it with you so you can see for yourself. All right. So this is it right here. Hold on. Let me share it so y'all can see it. I think I took a photo of it, but I just do it again. So, this is really what it is, right? This is just really what it is. And somebody said in the comments that they felt like maybe the league feels like they're above reproach. I'm like, well, the Browns definitely feel that way. The Browns definitely feel that way. And for all their conversation that they're having, not about wide receivers, trying to accommodate Batonio, moving on from Njoku and Wyatt Teller, it seems to me that they believe that they are above reproach as well because Joel Batonio was on camera. So was Jerry Jeudy. And they're not talking about wide receivers. So the Browns not really trying to fix anything. And Andrew Berry was asked by the media about why they haven't fixed the O-line yet. And his response was similar to something, I'm paraphrasing, something of, well, since we had to pivot, I don't know what pivot he's talking about. He said, since we had to pivot, we didn't get to do all of the things that we wanted to do. I'm like, what the hell pivot are you talking about? He said, since we had to pivot. I don't know what pivot took place. Is he talking about Shedeur playing? And is he trying? Because what's the pivot? Let's be honest. What's the pivot? You needed an O-line in 2024. So he lying. See, Andrew Berry's covering, saying, well, since we had to pivot. And I wanted to ask y'all, I was waiting all day to ask y'all, what pivot is he talking about? Because the only thing that I noticed is you finally put the best quarterback that you had on the roster on the field. That's not a pivot. And I don't know if he mean because Dylan was concussed. What pivot is he talking about? But the pivot, whatever it is why they couldn't get competent O-linemen, or O-linemen who were willing to protect the quarterback. Let me know what the pivot is because I don't. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. But once again, Andrew Berry is taking credit for shit and covering up shit that he has absolutely no business. So he's made himself somebody that needs to be moved out of the way. So this is what I said today, following their conversation about Malik Willis. And it might be him. And if not, what about Matt Jones and all this kind of stuff? And I said, the Browns shouldn't be, and true or false, let me know how you feel. I said, let me know if you think this is true or false. The Browns should not be discussing quarterbacks at all. The focus should be replacing a willfully negligent O-line first. That's your priority. A willfully negligent O-line first. And an underperforming and overpaid wide receiver one. That's two. Those are your main two priorities. You already had the number 2 defense. We don't even need to tweak the defense. You wanted to get yourself a new defensive coordinator? Cool. But you have a squad. You have the number 2 defense. You want to tweak 1 or 2 people to get to number 1? Cool. But defense is not your priority. Maybe special teams is your priority. Because that was a problem, right? But at the same time, if you didn't want to win, was the special teams really problematic? Or we would just create problems where there were none? And I said, Browns have a franchise QB on the roster. And you can decide who you think that is, whether it's Deshaun or Shedeur. The point is, they have 2 franchise QBs. And I said, Browns have a franchise QB on the roster and should be forced to explain in federal court why they are derailing their quarterbacks, their own quarterbacks. And I'm dead serious. And it's a reality. When you have one case that makes it to federal court because the arbitration process is a sham, it's going to be a sham going forward. It's going to be non-existent going forward. So that's what should happen, right? The Browns aren't even talking about what their priorities should be. The O-line, and they want to hang on to Batonio like they wanted to hang on to Stefanski. And they want to let the good people go, just like Stefanski didn't want to play the good people and make up injuries, which is fraud, which is corruption, using injuries, weaponizing injuries, fake injuries, weaponizing fake injuries to restrict the movement of players so you can play the worst ones. That's collusion. That is the very definition of collusion. So true or false, the Browns should not be talking about a quarterback. They have a franchise quarterback. In fact, you have Deshaun, who's healthy. You have Shedeur, who's healthy. And Dylan is still over there. So you have 3 quarterbacks. And you have Bailey Zapp on the practice squad. So for all of the talk about quarterbacks, if you're not trying to switch out your backup, which is obviously Dylan, or your tertiary option, what the hell are you talking about quarterbacks for when you already have 4? You have 4 quarterbacks. Make it make sense. So it's true. The Browns should be forced in federal court to explain why they keep derailing their own quarterbacks. That's what we are with the Browns. People don't realize that they have 4 quarterbacks. They haven't traded anybody. Bailey Zapp is still on the practice squad. Dylan is still silently over there. Shedeur is still over there. Deshaun is still over there. They aren't talking about trading Deshaun or Shedeur, which means you have 2 franchise quarterbacks. Maybe Dylan quiet because he might get traded. Cool. He just the 3rd backup anyway. They can bring Bailey Zapp off the practice squad if that's what they want to do and get somebody else, undrafted free agent, and put him over there. But to be talking about Malik Willis and Matt Jones while you have Shedeur and Deshaun and no conversations to trade either, that's negligence. That is also malpractice. And it appears, whether it's Malik Willis, who's black, and you just stacking black quarterbacks together, or Matt Jones, who's white, it's discriminatory. Either way, It's discriminatory, whether you get a black quarterback, a Hispanic one, a white one, or somebody else. It can be South Asian. It don't matter. It's still discriminatory because why are you holding on and hoarding Shedeur and Deshaun, who are franchise quarterbacks, and talking about getting another franchise quarterback? So you want to collect 3 franchise quarterbacks in a year that you're rebuilding. That makes absolutely no sense. And I hope one of these players, if not a few of them, take advantage of being able to go through federal court and sue. Because that's what needs to happen. I'm glad that arbitration program, that arbitration, which was a sham, was shot down. Because now they have recourse. And I'm hoping some of these quarterbacks take advantage of the recourse that they now have, because the arbitration that they were forced to use went nowhere. And that's why our judge said, no, that's not a real process. So every case that was decided in arbitration should be reviewed in federal court, including the collusion case with Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, and Lamar Jackson. You can't say you love yourself and choose a corporation that doesn't value you. You can't. You're not seeking accountability. You're not taking advantage of having recourse for once. You have to do something, because you're just going to be biding your time waiting for things to change when they never have. The only thing that has changed is you're not bound by that sham of an arbitration process. You can go to federal court, take advantage of it, and sue these people. If anything, sue them for equity in a team or ownership, so you can begin to make change in the league that you claim to love that don't love you back. So true or false, based on my statement, I say it's true. And the Red Sea has been parted so they can go to federal court. Now let's see if anybody rally their troops and get together and take advantage of it, because the way the Browns operate, they operate as if they are above reproach. As if they already know how the end result is going to turn out, that there are no consequences for them. Don't pray to the Lord, and when he opened the door for you, you just stand there. I'm just saying. Y'all know the story about the men on the shore praying for ships to come by with food, and ship number 1 comes and nothing. Ship number 2 comes. Was it the doubtful Thomas, I think, was the parable? Ship 3 comes, and he's like, Lord, I've been waiting on you. And the Lord like, I can send you 3 ships. You just let them go by. This is your ship. Federal court is your ship. This is what you've been praying for. Recourse. Use it. All right. So that's what I had to say based on the events that are happening in Cleveland. And I'm happy to see that Shedeur had somebody he bonded with who seems genuine, because as soon as Stefanski was fired, his wife didn't waste any time saying, you win stupid games, you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. But I wondered what she thought as soon as he was rewarded and elevated in Atlanta, but I don't know her. So I didn't ask her any questions, but it shows that there were people on the ground who, although they couldn't stop the situation, they did kind of put themselves in the line of fire a little bit to build a bond with Shedeur, and it cost them, right? Whether it was Njoku in the beginning, Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, Wyatt Teller, Tony Brown, Joe Flacco. And what it should tell you is the moves that have been made, the transactions that have been made. You see it cover up from Andrew Berry. You're seeing transactions moving out the good people, but trying to hold on to the dirt divers or the leader of the dirt divers. It should tell you that they're trying to run back the same intimidation and coercion and retaliation process to get their agenda to suppress Shedeur fulfilled. That's what you should get from this. So I'm going to head over to the comments and see what y'all are thinking. All right, let's see who in here. Hey, Ramont, thank you for holding it down. I appreciate it, appreciate it, appreciate it. It said, remember, don't bleed on the people that did cut you. Facts. Facts, facts, facts. It said the truth is where we live. Yep. Hey, how you doing, Tina? How you doing, Miss Pamela? It said, good evening, good evening, good evening. It said, another blessed day to be Black. Absolutely. Absolutely. Wouldn't change a thing. It said, Lady T is in the place to be. Yup. Hey, Niecy, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Hey, Nikki, welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, Priscilla, welcome back. Nice to see you. It said, hey, everyone, and to the realest show on YouTube. Thank you. I hope all had a pleasant day. I did. Thank you, Tamika. Thank you so much. Hey, 420, I hope you enjoyed your birthday the other day. I hope your day was special. Hey, Peter, welcome back. It said, the girl is out here, brave and bold. Hey, how you doing, Julia? How you doing? It said, shout out to Angel. Facts. Yeah, let Angel live her life. She seems to have learned how to master that she will be hated on. She has a lot going for herself, kind of like what Coach Prime said about the threats he got, because Angel talked about her getting threats as well. And I don't even understand what the problem is, because there have been other players like Candace Parker who were popular, Maya Moore, they were Black. So what is so different about Angel that they hate on her? Make a little sense to me. They are women. That's one, right? They are beautiful in their own right. They got several people who are actual models over there, right? So Skylar Diggins is beautiful. I don't see them hating on her. Is it just cattiness that generally comes with when you have a lot of women in one space? If you haven't experienced it, you might not know what the hell I'm talking about. But if you have, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Is that what it is? Just general cattiness? Because some of the people that hate on her look like her, right? So you can't say it's solely racism. They've had popular Black women before. She's popular. Other ones have been tall. Candace Parker is attractive. She seems, like her and Maya Moore. They're pretty. So what is it? Is it the endorsements? Is it the endorsements bring more money than the league is willing to pay them? What is it? I know the WNBA's bias. I get that, because they thought racism was a strategy for marketing. I picked up on that quickly, which is why I moved on from them. Once Angel got hurt, I'm out. And there were other players. I would go watch the team in Atlanta, but I felt like I was hanging on because I was cheering for Angel. Just kind of like what Shedeur and the Cleveland Browns, right? It's the same thing. And then I'm back in the cycle again with Trinidad, right? Back in the cycle there. So what is it? Because they all got the same thing. The only thing they all don't have are major endorsements, their own shoe. So, and I've said this before. I've said that Angel Reese's journey in her first year was tough, right? And then Shedeur's first year was tough. And I said Angel Reese's first year mimicked Shedeur's first year. And Angel Reese's second year, I hope, is what Shedeur will experience. Yeah, they still hate on you. No, they don't want your team to win. But you got all the love from the fans, like Angel does. You have all of these sponsors and endorsements that makes up for the money that they cheated you out of, because Angel was down to number 7 in the first round rather than going top 4, which she should have. Because how can Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese play in, what was it, a championship game? Or a semifinal game, but then Angel be so far down? And it's obvious the WNBA wanted the great white hope. And you don't even hear about her. And she didn't even play 3/4 of the season. So what happened to that? She is up with a $28 million shoe deal. You know who was supposed to go first? Had Caitlin Clark stayed in school? Rickea Jackson. So for the way Caitlin Clark went missing, Rickea Jackson could have went first, right? And maybe she would have had the $28 million shoe deal. But they actually did all of that for somebody who didn't really even play last year. So they were hanging on to skin color to sell tickets to people to come out. And it means that they didn't appreciate the audience that they had. You know who the biggest supporters of the WNBA were? Black men. They didn't appreciate that. They didn't advertise and market to them. They came out of natural passion for basketball and support for the women that look like them. And the WNBA never thought it was a good idea to grow that demographic. They chose to abandon Black players, including Angel Reese. And not just Angel Reese, but Alicia Gray and some others. And Black men who kept them afloat for decades. They chose to throw it all up, ball it all up, and throw those groups, demographics in the trash because that's not what we want. Does that sound familiar? I don't want to win with Angel Reese. I want to win all the way with Caitlin Clark, even though she didn't have that talent. But they propped her up and it failed, and they fired a coach. You know what I read today? I read there was a spaces happening on X, like a little space where people go and talk. And it was inside Texas. So it's the University of Texas. And the topic that they were discussing was, can head coach Sarkisian unleash Arch Manning? Which means it hadn't happened yet, right? So if you want to take something on a leash, it means that they've been tied up and that you haven't seen their full potential. And I said, how the hell is it? Because you had that conversation a day after they done gave this kid the Heisman at number 1. That is exactly what I meant by this is manufactured. And we saw it play out in the WNBA with Angel and Caitlin. And now we're seeing it with Shedeur in the draft and Jackson Dart and Tyler Shaw. And then in the season with everybody, Dillon, Flacco, Pickett. It's the same thing. And I said, NFL, take a page out the WNBA book because they, in their eyes, were successful. They had partnerships and they had Caitlin Clark in year 1 on the red carpet or whatever they call it, the green carpet. Prada had ads. They had all the white people in the games. They were selling out, but they were missing something. The damn talent was missing. So essentially, you was putting on a pageant, not a beauty pageant, but some kind of pageant. But they forgot about the talent part, and it cost them because the fans said, to hell with that. We want to see some good basketball. And when it came time to show and prove, she was MIA. And their season is coming up, and I don't hear nothing yet. And Angel Reese just joined Unrivaled. And she committed to going back to the Sky because she better than me because they don't want to win with her. She's in the same situation as Shedeur. And just like the WNBA wanted their great white hope, that's exactly what's happening to Shedeur where Arch Manning is concerned. But Arch Manning is being propped up and it's hurting a lot of people. Just like Caitlin Clark was propped up and it hurt a lot of people. It's the same dusty playbook. It's called the Great White Hope. And it steps on and it crushes a lot of Black talented people. In corporate America, it's the same thing. So for people not to be able to see the racism in NFL, you must be standing too close to it. Because they took a page straight out of the WNBA playbook with Caitlin Clark. And treated Shedeur like Angel. We don't see you trashing her skill set. So, of course, when I saw that there was some poll and she was the prettiest, and I know she likes to model and do all those things, I applaud. But to see people tear that down and say things like this, it just tells me basically who the haters are. People who don't find Black women attractive so they can shut the hell up. Yeah. To put her, Sophie Cunningham, on here, she might be attractive to you, but that don't mean she attracted to the people who put the poll together. And if they didn't consider her, then maybe they don't find her attractive. But how dare you say Angel isn't because you think Sophie Cunningham is? Sophie Cunningham is not attractive to everybody. Some people don't even like her personality. Pretty on the outside, ugly on the inside. But you don't get to tear down Angel Reese because she doesn't do it for you. She's somebody's type. And clearly she's the type of people that included her in the poll. So shut the hell up. That's so third graderish that you want everybody to hate Angel because you like Sophie. Go to hell with that. Straight to hell with that. Because that's just thinly veiled racism. It said Angel is beautiful to me. Yep, and I'm certainly not apologizing. Absolutely. Yeah, I think Angel's pretty. I think you crazy if you say she's not pretty. But if you like, well, I don't like black women. Okay, shut up. We wasn't talking to you then. Maybe the poll had all black athletes. I don't know. I was looking for it. I didn't find it. But the point is, people are entitled to their opinion. And because you don't like Angel, you don't have the right to try to dissuade other people and say she's not pretty because you possibly do not find black people attractive. So shut the hell up. This didn't include you. And if it didn't include you, then mind your damn business. That seems to be one of the hardest things for certain people, to mind their damn business. If nobody was talking to you, shut up. Angel is gorgeous. And she got everything going for her. Black excellence. And that's what they hate most. And they don't want people to talk about Angel Reese. Because they want people to talk about their preference. Well, your preference ain't our preference. Your preference ain't a lot of people's preference. Who said your preference was ideal? They lied to you. It's ideal for you. They didn't include us. So shut up. So shout out to Angel Reese for winning whatever poll was out there for the prettiest athlete in the U.S. And congratulations for making the Olympic team. I didn't hear much about that. I know last year there was a lot of talk about it, but I didn't hear it this year. So congratulations to Angel Reese. So Shedeur should be looking at Angel Reese's year 2 to see what his year 2 gonna look like, because hopefully this is where his blessings come, right? I don't know how that's gonna happen in Cleveland, but the way things are today, they may not be tomorrow. Maybe Cleveland will finally begin to realize as the dominoes begin to fall worldwide and in the US that, hey, we're not above reproach, because we hang out with those people. We know those people. And if they gonna get it, we could get it too. That's the hope and prayer, that they start to realize we better straighten up and fly right. That's the hope. That's the hope. Or somebody sue. I'll take either one. I'll take either one. Love Angel. Me too. Yep. Shout out to all the HBCUs. Facts. It said, do you all see Snow in New Mexico with his mother? He had a lot of fun. New Mexico? I saw him in Cancun. Is that what you're talking about? But if they went to New Mexico, I haven't seen that one. I watched the one where he went to his first international trip to Cancun. And I will tell you what I did do, but I'm probably going to do it on a different podcast. So I told y'all that, what's her name? Deandra. I call her DeAndrea, but it's Deandra. Deandra, Snow's mom, said that she signed Snow up for soccer. Now, I know typically you got to be potty trained. You got to be like 5, but they do have programs for kids that are 2 and 3. And I think he's 17 months, but I saw a picture of him that they took when he went to see the Globetrotters. I was like, this kid don't look like he's 17 months at all. He looked like full-blown 2 going on 3 year old. And normally they like those kids to be potty trained too. But she said she signed him up for soccer. So if he gets to play, I forget what year soccer actually takes place. Is it the spring, I think, right? The spring. So yeah, the spring. So maybe we'll get to see him with like a little type program. So I was watching this little soccer program online for like the little bitties, the 2-year-olds. And, they teach them how to balance. So I said I was going to put that together and share with y'all, so y'all can kind of see what we have to look forward to until Snow start playing. So she must have found him like a little type program, and they just teach him about balance and put the foot on the ball. They kick the ball. And I'm like, I really think he's going to like this. So, we get to invest in Snow, watching him grow and playing sports, right? Because he comes from a very athletic family, right? And people said when you watch him with Chuck E. Cheese, and I was watching it, they thought he did really good with the ball. So they think he's a natural athlete. So stay tuned for that, So once DeAndrea tells us when he'll play, we could kind of keep up with it. But the picture I saw, he looked like he about 2 or 3, but he's not even that old. He only 17 months. It could be how snazzy he's dressed too, because he's always dressed really nice. It's that Angel was, oh, okay, Julia, no, I didn't know that, and I'm not saying that out loud. I'm not saying that out loud because I need some receipts. I thought they were just friends. It said, remember, the HBCU players helped build the AFL. I did not know that. Okay, thank you for sharing that. Angel Reese, a true lady of class. Yeah, that's what I think. She's very classy. I think she loves her Chanel. You know, she's always doing her outfit of the day. I mean, that's another thing too. She's mastered social media. So I think it might be some cattiness happening, that she has something that many of them don't. She does. Looks like Shedeur got his own shoe. She got her own shoe, right? And, you know, I knew they were friends, at least I thought they were friends at one point or something like that. But, you know, I guess, you know, people in these sports, they tend to go on with their lives or whatever. And, you know, she's dating Wendell Carter Jr., who I told y'all they probably going to end up getting married. And that's why I was surprised to see her go back to Unrivaled, because she'd opted out. And I knew she wanted to probably, you know, she was going to his games and everything and stuff like that. So, but she decided to go ahead and help them make a push for the playoffs. So maybe he'll be at her games, because he already was at her games and was wearing a t-shirt of her and stuff like that. But they hadn't officially announced it. So, you know, I'm happy for her. But Shedeur should he should be able to learn from Angel and her experience, because she was a year ahead of him. And everything, the vitriol that he gets, she gets, you know. And the way the WNBA was looking for their great white hope, and NFL and the Browns are looking for their great white hope, and, you know, changing the game so that certain people can reach the bar, whereas, you know, he's being held back. Same thing with Angel. Angel, she only was playing her first year because somebody got hurt. And when she got the nod, because due to injuries, she took off. But that wasn't their plan. And it seemed that the league had a plot to suppress the Chicago Sky, which it made sense to me when I thought about it, because that's the only reason they cut Kaiser Gondretrick. You know why? Remember, Kaiser and Angel were bringing all of this attention. Boy, they was bringing that attention. I did a video about it on this channel. I was like, man, the attention that Angel Reese and Kaiser, and then Angel and Kaiser were bringing all the attention on game day when they would walk the green carpet. They had a sponsor's name on it. But they would all come in. Fans loved it. People that were not watching the game was watching the game. They would talk on social media. They started doing TikToks together. Baby, they shut that down. And you know why? Because they were not supposed to get more attention than Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. The Chicago Sky was not supposed to be sold out like they were. It was only supposed to be the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark was the first pick. How is it the second pick gets a chance to play when somebody get hurt and everybody want to watch them? And then when they played, 23 million people watched Chicago versus Indiana. And instead of the WNBA capitalizing on it, they didn't want that, because they little pea brains came up with Caitlin or bust and decided to shut everything else down. So not only did they cut Kaiser to break up the besties, because that's what we were calling them, they traded away Marina Mabry so they couldn't win. And then they fired the coach. Sound familiar? And yes, it was a black coach. It was a woman. Then they went and got a black coach, a man. Sound familiar? And they don't want him to win either. Just optics. Just using black people for optics. And the coach went along with it. And it cost her job, which is why she should have never did it in the first place. Somebody asked me to make a video about it after it happened. I'm like, no, because I'm disgusted with her. Angel had her on her show recently. That's good. She's supposed to forgive. I don't have nothing to do with that. She shouldn't have went along with that. Just like Brian Flores. He was bribed and he said no. You can say no and just let God handle the rest. But to be out here cheating these people who work their lives to get here, and you being complicit and helping to keep the white supremacy going, you crazy. Because everybody that's black that does help to keep their little racist agendas going feels the burn themselves. So learn from the people before you. So I'll probably watch Angel when she get back to Chicago. And I've been paying attention to all the women's basketball because they lighten it up over there. You got somebody at Ole Miss out here putting up 39 points. And then you have Olivia, the girl with the afro. Does she play for UConn? She don't care about nothing. She just want to play ball, and she's good. So the Final Four for the women is going to be really good. Again, it's going to be really good. But it's not just North Carolina. It's not just UConn, right? LSU, you got Flage over there. And she was out here killing it until they played Ole Miss, I think. And the girl from Ole Miss, they say she put up 39 points by herself. And I was watching the highlights, and all you saw was her stand in the same spot and shoot the ball. I'm like, is this a loop? So they kept letting her get back to her spot, the spot to the right of the goal, to the left of the goal, kind of like when you play the game horse, not the E, but the letter before the E. And she just kept shooting. She was lighting it up. I'm like, y'all not going to play defense on the girl? And then Juju is supposed to be back at USC. She got a shoe, right? She has a shoe. And I've been waiting on her to get to the WNBA because, you talk about a baller. Juju is the only basketball player that anybody has compared to Michael Jordan. Yep. So women's basketball going to be lit. I'm probably going to watch the men too, but for whatever reason, they don't have as much hype and excitement. And I don't know if it's because the women just out here balling. Like, it's just, balling. I don't think dunking is everything. And neither is the three. You got to be able to play defense and all that other kind of stuff too. So I'm excited about the Final Four. Yes, I'm looking at the women's side. I will support the men as well, but for whatever reason, the dynamic is the most exciting is the women. So, and speaking of basketball, I'm probably going to talk about basketball tomorrow, but I told y'all I wanted to see how the Cleveland Cavaliers would do with James Harden. Well, they just played the Brooklyn Nets, and they just demolished them. And people are saying that the duo of Spider Mitchell, Donovan Mitchell, and James Harden is working. They already got that chemistry. There was a lob from James Harden to Donovan. I'm like, okay, but let me see what happens when we get to the playoffs, because that's where James Harden generally goes MIA. So I'm just hoping that he gets over that, because I think they're going to make the playoffs, so we'll see. So if y'all watching men's basketball, let me know who y'all watch, but I'm kind of keeping an eye on the Cavs. Oh, and Atlanta. I said I was going to pop up at a game, so we'll see. I'm still trying to get out to Duluth to the damn pro volleyball, but it's too far. It's too far. And Atlanta traffic is a nightmare. And the train, they don't want it out there, so I can't take the train. So I don't know if I'm going to make it. I might just have to watch them on TV and tell y'all about it. It said, I think CP should scout some of those HBCU players. You know what? I wondered about that, right? I felt like maybe last year. I agree. I don't know why that doesn't happen. I think maybe it did and we don't know, but I totally agree with you. Who said that? Julian, I totally agree with you, unless they won't let him. And did y'all know that the little QB that we were talking about, Isaac Wilson from Utah, did y'all know his brother is Zach Wilson, the NFL quarterback, who I think might be in Miami? That's who his brother is. Again, I don't know why we signed him. I kind of am keeping my eye on that situation because I find that very interesting. We don't want to repeat of last year. And I just want to know whose idea that was. I need to know whose idea that was, so I could level set some expectation here. If you tell me it was Coach Prime, I'm like, well, maybe he talked to Juju, right? But if you tell me it was the new guy, I'm gonna be like, okay. So that would say a lot to me. I feel like it does. What do y'all think about it? We'll probably talk about it on another podcast. But I am kind of keeping my eye on that situation. So I want to know whose idea it was. And I remember a couple of weeks ago, Brennan Marion saying Coach Prime was involved heavily with the recruiting, even though somebody else did the physical part. He approved everybody. He knew about everybody. He watched film on everybody. So that would mean the Isaac kid too, right? And that would mean he knows, right? So that meant they worked on it together. And then Juju put out after that. See, all of this didn't make sense to me until I saw the kids' video. And when Juju said, God, I'm following you, that's why. Because he chose to stay and they got another quarterback, and this happened last year. I hope and pray that that don't happen this year. Right? What do y'all think about that? Like, is Juju supposed to be QB1, or is there supposed to be some competition? I wasn't thinking there was a competition. I don't think that kid left school early to compete like that. What y'all think? I mean, he is a competitor, but based on what happened last year, it looked like we gonna set up. We moved on Ryan Staub and we went to get another one. I really want to know your thoughts about this. So that's what I want to know. Shout out to Shiloh. Facts. It's that CP and love. It's that he ain't got time for scouting. Coach, stop saying that. That man can do his job. He even basically told you he was a workaholic when he was on the train, and he was essentially telling you he's a workaholic, because he even said, my kids say, he work a lot. He said, you even said it, talking about her. And remember when I did the little babe video, when I said Coach Prime and Carucci a babe ? And the guy stopped her at the airport and was like, Coach Prime posted, shout out you in a post. And she's like, did he? She's like, yeah, he got, his career and his family, and I know what she was saying. I know what she was saying. She was basically saying he ain't got time for her. So that's why she's shocked that he would post about. I know what she was saying. I know exactly what she was saying. So when he said it on the train in the post that I shared yesterday, that cancer triggered something in him, that God whispered to him he better live his life. Facts. And he said, my kids say, I was working too much. My kids said it. And he looked at her and said, you said it. So I was like, that confirmed what I was thinking. So they've been kind of knowing each other, but it's just Coach Prime wasn't making time. And since he started making time, we see them as a pair. And they clearly have been, I don't know how long it's been going on, but it's been over a year. Because I think from November to November, because he has 2 seasons of I Got Time Today, and it was season 1. So this is over a year, at least. And from December to December, right? It's over a year, I would say, or January to January. Point is, they've been around each other for a year, and we're past January. We in February, approaching March. We're almost halfway through February. February is a short month, so it's over a year. So it makes sense to start seeing them out as a couple. And seemingly, he even though he had cancer, he still was going back to the grind. Like that wasn't an alarm clock, because it is. I ain't gonna lie to you, it's not. You just don't know when the alarm gonna go off. So that's why when he said, God whispered to him, you better start living your life. And he said, by the time the final minute tick down, you want to make sure you have lived. And I agree. I totally agree with him. So I'm happy to see him happy. And he thanked her and the train company for the trip and all that kind of stuff too. And she did plan it, and she likes him, in my opinion. I think she likes him. And she didn't run away, which I think that's huge, because a lot of women over 50 talk about, they don't want to be a nurse. When they say that, right? That's what people say. So she stayed. So I say reward her, right? If she want to go to the jazz thing, take her. She want to go skiing or whatever that is, take her or whatever. They want to talk about going on a train trip together. They need to go to Switzerland because they're going to love that. But, she want to go to Paris, take her, right? Because she stayed. And she obviously thinks that it's heaven sent, that God had sent her. So, and that they need to be together. And remember, he said, that's a good answer, that God knew we needed each other at that time. And when the time comes and goes and the person still wants to be around, that might be the one. That might be the one. So take her wherever she want to go, because you could be by yourself. Work ain't gonna cuddle up to you when you get off. I'm just gonna say it like that. And especially what he going through in Colorado, because I'm gonna tell y'all something. That's not easy. We saw it was a toll on Shedeur, and it's disgusting for Colorado to do that, knowing They know better than anybody what he was dealing with, right? The Big 12 commissioner, somebody was calling him every day. But then we got the Big 12 general manager trashing the program. What's up with that? We got CU putting out numbers about the money. That's why I still always go back to that. Roger Goodell and I'm worried about your pops. You not psychic. So was this planned? I still say you have to ask. And if it wasn't, then what the hell was he talking about? And why I see you acting like, oh, he could deal with that. It ain't. It's like, why they trying to apply the pressure when they know what it could do? You see what I'm saying? So it said they blocked the game with CP and money making again. All the blacks. What you mean they blocked the game? What you talking about? Let me know what you're talking about. It says Shiloh is a pure athlete, right? And what do we see with Shedeur when he stepped up to bat? The Sanders. Well, at least I know Shedeur and Shiloh are pure athletes. I think Bucky might be too. We just, he finished school before our time, but I saw his highlights. So I think just the DNA. DeAndre, I don't know if she plays sports. Maybe she played volleyball or something like that. Did anybody know? Since some of y'all watched the show when they were younger. Did she play any sports? And then I think the younger daughter was just hitting threes to win a game or something like that. So she has some talent too, right? And Snow seemingly already has some talent. So there it is. It said he probably got higher ratings than the Winter Olympics because it's so boring. Are you talking about what are you talking about when you said he probably got higher ratings? Let me know. Let me know. Because on my show earlier today, the one I did at lunch, we talked about how the NCAA, and they in trouble. The NCAA rejected Coach Prime and Coach Prime and Fran Brown's waiver to play the spring game for the second year in a row with the same excuse they need time to look at the calendar or just know. And they in trouble. Remember Trinidad Shambliss went to court, and I told y'all the lawyers for the NCAA left court before the judge came back and read the decision. That's not when they left. They left court the moment Trinidad started testifying and telling his case on why he should have another year. They left. They got up and walked out while this kid was getting ready to testify. And the judge said, we don't do that around here. So he want them to show cause as to why they weren't there, because we don't do that around here. So he's making them come back to court. He's making them come back to court. The NCAA is tawdry. Just these two incidents so close together. Denying Trinidad in the first place, but you gave Diego 7 and somebody else 9 and somebody else 8. Right? And then Coach Prime, you denying Coach Prime and Fran Brown again a second time. All these people are black we talking about. Diego Papi is not black. And we talking about football. So before anybody start talking about basketball, there seems to be some type of vitriol and hatred toward black football players. And I don't know, because they whine about NIL for football. I don't hear them whining about NIL for basketball. And a lot of kids didn't even go to the NBA draft. They didn't even register for the NBA draft. Last year was year before was the lowest number of players coming out of college registering for the NBA draft. So it was affecting basketball with players staying in college first. I didn't hear anybody say that. I didn't hear anybody say we need to put somebody in charge of college basketball for NIL. I didn't hear that. But all I hear is whining and moaning about football, and Coach Prime and Fran Brown declined 2 years in a row. And people say, just go get 2 white coaches to ask and they'll do it. And it shouldn't have to be that way, but that's what people believe. It's because of who's asking. And then when you see how they treated the court, you can't disrespect the court. You can't sit there with your phone. You can't be making no noise. You can't be yelling loud. You can't even celebrate too loud. The court has rules, and you cannot disrespect the court. And lawyers know this. And they said, to hell with the court, to hell with Trinidad. We don't even need to sit here and listen to his side of the story. They left. Do you know how disrespectful that is to the entire process? And they moving like the Browns, like we above reproach. That's why they stay getting sued. So we'll see what happens with the spring game. Maybe next year they'll get some sponsors and then make it hard for them to say no, or maybe they'll just get 2 white coaches to do it. We shall see. The NCAA is trash, though. That's what I'm gathering from learning about how Coach Prime, Coach Fran Brown have been treated because they want to do something revolutionary that's never happened before. As much as they love money, they got patches all over these kids' uniforms. They got all these beer sponsors. They got all these other kind of sponsors, but they don't want no sponsors for a spring game. They would normally leap at the chance if another coach who wasn't black asked. But they keep shutting down Coach Prime and Fran Brown out of disrespect, just like they disrespected the entire damn court in Mississippi, as well as Trinidad and his family. Like he didn't deserve for them to listen. So now they got to go show cause. So they got to go back anyway. Just ignorant. Good evening, Amber. How you doing? How you doing? Poor Shiloh. Yeah, he fell. He sure did. So y'all go watch it and see. He showed his injury. It said HBCU getting a 7-on-7. I think it's a good idea. Yeah. I heard they got the flag football for the girls. So you saying they getting 7-on-7 for the men? Okay. It said, but these guys aren't motivated and confident enough to start it. It said it's always women or somebody white that's got to start it. I think the one that people are afraid. I don't know. It's just, what else is there? What else is there? Tina's comment does have merit because, I talk to people, right? And I don't know. I think sometimes what keeps me, when I first read about the lady agent, she's black, I was like, I think I scrolled past it. And someone's like, go back and get that and save it. And I saved it. Now I can't find it, but it's because I'm moving around. And I'm going to find it. And I'm probably going to reach out to her and ask her and see what she thinks, right? Because it seems that maybe they're afraid of what the NFL is going to do, or maybe they already decided what the NFL is going to do. Like the people I talked to was like, well, how do you raise money? I'm like, what do you raise money for? It was like, well, I'm like, I try to tell people that startups start in basements. I just had this conversation today. Startups start in basements. You don't have to have everything 100%. First of all, you got to find enough people to even want to do it. That's number one. Identify the interest. If you can identify the interest and overwhelmingly get interest, you can get sponsors. And when you get sponsors, they pay for shit. And we're talking about one game to start. And then you test run it and you stream it. And you go to somewhere where there's grass in a football field. If Cam Newton, I went 2.5 hours to his 7-on-7 tournaments, and it was at a high school. A high school let them use that. And I know that people are going to be like, well, you probably, because I'm going to tell you what people have said. Well, you need billionaires. What do I need billionaires for to play football 7-on-7? I don't need billionaires to play football. I need a place to play football. That's why I said the Primetime Classic at the ranch, because they got a football field. There's parks that have grass, and you just put the white lines down there. But since I know Cam used the high school, you could use a high school. 7-on-7 plays somewhere all the time. So space is available. And if you just get to the point where the money is just printing and paying for everything, then just buy some acreage and put it on there and get some regular bleachers and put it on there. Because if you watch Destroying, who was this close, in my opinion, so they found something for him to do. He had hella views, so much so that the NFL came and got him. And not did he just have hella views, he had packed out stands. And sometimes the stands were packed and there would be 2 or 3 rows stacked around the field. And he had a field in different cities with no problem. And yeah, you got to think about What if people try to lean on you? You are going to think about what if people want to buy it from you. Think about people how want to sabotage you, but that don't mean you don't do it. That's the part of strategy. You have to always have a contingency plan. This is too simple. And I really shouldn't have to do it, but I feel compelled to do it. And I feel like the lady agent who's Black that represent HBCU players is probably going to be the person that I talk to see if she want to do it. Because she can identify the players just like I can identify the players who are in the HBCU Legacy Bowl. I can just go that route and sit down and look and go, hey, hey, hey. But it's nice to have an ally, isn't it? Because if nothing else, she can identify players if she don't want to do it. It's too simple. You don't need a billionaire to identify interest. There's something in business where you just have exploratory conversations. You just explore the idea. And then when you get to the point where you got people on board and it seems like a good idea, you take the next step and identify interest in your audience. And when you do that, and I've already done that, look at how many classic games that we have with over 15,000 in attendance. You have a built-in audience. I kind of already done it. But I would have to work with people who seem reluctant to. It ain't like I can get out there and play. Or this is not about women. I mean, maybe it could be, but it started out with about men because of the necessity of HBCU football players being overlooked. It actually started out with waived players from the NFL. But then once I learned about the mentality of just like Shiloh, he wants to go back. I was like, that's probably not a good, because they're going to constantly be pining for that. And I was like, HBCU players, because they get overlooked. And I did the research to see how many were drafted, 1, came from the HBCU combine, 0. And they talented. So I reached out to one of the quarterbacks from last year's class and asked him, was he playing pro somewhere? And he said, yeah. So he probably won't work out. But that's a part of the process. Identifying interest. And if you have an ally, you don't have to do it by yourself. But I do have to work with the group of people who don't see the vision. And honestly, I ain't in the mood to convince nobody of shit. It's not. I got my own shit. So, I got my own thing, right? And it feels like I am doing it because it needs to be done. But that ain't a reason for me to do it. So I can give you the blueprint and you can do it. But everybody has the same reaction. I'm like, you can't ask me how I generate money because you charge money. I'm like, and you don't just start streaming, you play football, you stream the entire process. You stream the selection process of the players. Once you identify the players, you start streaming them and they tell their story. You don't just wait and start playing football and start streaming and start making money. No. When you start that pre-marketing, when you start that marketing before you pre-game, the exploratory phase, that's where your sponsors come from. When they see your views. And some probably gonna do it. And just like destroying, somebody gonna find something else for them to do. And I think that's why I hang back, because I see the field. And people just don't have a vision. That's just what it is. And I'm not in the mood to convince. So if they have 7-on-7 at the school for the men, just like they have the flag football for the women, then maybe somebody will finally on that side, maybe they'll do it. But it's too doable not to do it. But you have to be passionate about it. You have to be invested in it. It can't just be a money grab, because it's going to take labor. It's going to take work. And you're going to be dealing with people that can't see the vision. And you have to have it in you to want to sell them and convince them. And I don't have that part. That's where I check out. I have the vision. I'm a visionary. So that's it. So I hope they get the 7-on-7 for men. And I hope it does happen post-college, because there's so many Black talented HBCU players, or so many talented HBCU football players that they get overlooked. That's just what it is. So that would be another avenue. Good evening. Hey, Sharon. It said, why did the NCAA keep refusing to allow CU and Syracuse to play a spring game? Well, I looked it up. And who asked that question? I looked it up, Miss Pamela, and it said in year one that they filed late. So they needed time to survey all of the college football schedules. So this year they filed in January. So they filed super early. And they still came back and said the same thing. They got to check the schedules of all of the schools. It's the same thing. And I'm like, if you said they were late and you didn't have time, and now they gave you time and you still don't do it, you don't want to do it. And the way they treated Trinidad and how they gave Diego a 7th year. In basketball, they're giving out players to 9 years. And another football player got 9 years. But he ain't no damn quarterback, so they don't care. See, Trinidad is a threat. Julian is a threat. Any black quarterback right now, Shedeur, Cam, all of them are threats. The same thing is happening above, across NCAA and NFL, and they're working together. I don't care what nobody say. They're working together. And you know this because you're not going to tell nobody, you're not going to convince no jury that it's the coincidence that Shedeur was parked behind Dylan in the Heisman stage and behind Dylan in Cleveland. And now this year, they trying to Trinidad, and he at the 2 and the Manny Kid at the 1. And he proved nothing. And they over there at his own university talking about, can he be unleashed? Which meant he never has. But yet, he's number 1 for the Heisman, and Trinidad is being robbed like Shedeur was. It's the same shit. It's the same thing. And Julian is propped up. I hate to say it, our young guy, he is. He's good, of course, but he ain't finna graduate. So it's easy to put him up there. He ain't no threat. The threat of people like Shedeur in the NFL and people like Trinidad in college. And look at how hard they try to keep him from coming back to school because everybody know he gonna be the story, and he is. But just like they didn't want Shedeur to be the story, they don't want Trinidad to be the story. And Coach Prime is not Trinidad's father. So it's becoming evident as time goes on. This had absolutely nothing to do about Coach Prime and everything to do with racism. And it's not just the NFL. It's not just the NCAA. They working together. I'm not trying that. It looks like Shiloh fell on his face. Oh, you talking about the skin? I want to try it. I do. I want to try it. The ski resort in Pennsylvania. Oh, y'all go to a ski resort in Pennsylvania? Okay. I've never been skiing there. I've been to Colorado. It's that these people are not changing their plans. No, they're not. They're not changing their plans. It said the pivot is ready to eat. Yeah. It said AB on some slick stuff. Yeah, AB, the one. See, we now seeing his character and a bit more broader what his roles and responsibilities are. I'm like, you just let these people use you, but he don't get it. I ain't worried about it. Because I already know that they brought Tom Telesco over there. I know who Tom Telesco is. I did the research. That's just keeping Peyton Manning in the shadows. That's all. That's what his job is. And they brought him in to make sure Monk can get in, which means Andrew Berry, they don't need him. But what they need him for is to bring in somebody and put them in front of Shedeur. So they need him to be Kevin Stefanski light. We know Andrew Berry did not draft Dylan. He gets undermined, he gets scapegoated, and he seems to like it. So you can't respect people like that. You cannot respect people like that. I don't know how you look at stuff in the mirror. AB will get his wake-up call when they finish using him. Facts, Jerry Judy too. It's that we have to keep Colin Haslam in our social media. He doesn't like bad publicity. He don't like it, but he still ain't switched up. He got indignant when they were saying that the team is dysfunctional. He did get upset by that, but did he change up anything? No, he just kept right on going. That's why I said these people are crazy, because you got a petition out here with your longest supporters coming out saying they out, they done, because the owner is not ever going to do right. And they've been around longer than we have. And you still doing the same thing. You haven't switched up nothing. That's ignorant. That's ignorant. Like, that's Ain't nothing gonna ever be different. That's people that believe in themselves and all of themselves, and God don't exist for them. That God is nowhere in the equation where they're concerned. It's whatever they think in their brains. That's what it's gonna be. I'm like, do you know how narrow-minded that is? And they let you buy a team? Probably because he fit the mold. We'll see what happens this year. I keep saying Shedeur gonna get traded, and the Browns don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna see how far these E-files shake down to the NFL, because that's Zorro Ranch. If you didn't join us from the beginning, I want you to go back and listen to the first 2-3 minutes of what I said. And it explains why they was fighting so hard to make sure this don't get out, and why they haven't released everything, because it's a lot of people gonna get roped up in this. That's why I think the lady said, if the truth come out, the system gonna crash. She is not lying. She is not lying. And it's bad. It's bad. It said the pivot should go after the folks who are eating after the black folks. What you talking about, Julia? It said, excuse me if I don't like hype and subscribe to AB. Yeah, no, yeah, we out on that. We out on that. Shout out to American Black people. Yup, facts. 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 Coach, Coach said, what AB do to you? I'm gonna let you take that one. Well, we love you, Coach. You something else. It said, Coach, you are always sounding like Jason Woodlock. Oh, Miss Pamela say she gonna kick you out, Coach. Coach is one of the dissenters that we have, and he consistent with it. I was like, how you hang out with us like this? But I don't know. Either that, Coach, or you clueless. I don't know. I ain't really sure. I don't know how you do it. G. Bush was cooking the Cleveland media with receipts of always talking about a quarterback each year. G. Bush said Shedeur is a QB1. Just listen to the interview of Andrew Barrett. I didn't hear nothing from Andrew Barrett that said Shedeur was QB1 other than a apparent slip of the tongue. But everything that he's done since then says that he misspoke. But, you know, G. Bush ought to know better than we do. Unless he know Andrew Barrett personally, Andrew Barrett told him something. G. Bush ought to know who Tom Telesco is and why he over there. He ought to know that maybe Shedeur is going to be QB1, which is why they holding on to, because they clearly not trying to get rid of Joel Bitonio, and we know what his role was. They're not trying to get rid of Jerry Jeudy, and we know what his role was. And one of those betting houses came out and said the Browns going to win 6 games. And so if this is Shedeur Sanders, Michael Penix 2, junior year 2, you know, I relate that way when you look at people that go before Shedeur, like Angel Reese, but then there's also Michael Penix. Now let's talk about his year 2. The fans pushed for him and they got him, and the owners seemingly went along with it, did they? And now he got 2 ACLs issues because they got him injured. So yeah, I wouldn't get too happy if they put him out there. You better see what's gonna happen first, because understand, if that's the plan is to make him unavailable, because that's what happened to Michael Penix Jr. They actually beat the Buffalo Bills, and that was the game I think Jeezy did the halftime show, and right before that, if I'm not mistaken, that's when Arthur Blank ran over there and gave up all that money to the HBCUs. But look at you, that's a tax write-off. And it appears that you are placating to your Black audience so they don't know you're racist against Michael Penix Jr., because you are. And every other Black quarterback, which is why you ain't had none other than Michael Vick. And look at what happened to him, even though he wasn't the owner. Just like the Browns were dysfunctional before the current owner, because they sell those teams to people with the same agenda. They don't want people like a Magic Johnson who's going to go out there and win like Shedeur. They want people they can control, because that's exactly what they did with the Walmart family. They told the Walmart family what to do. When they wanted to give, the Walmart family thought when they bought the team, they could come in here and get the quarterback they want. And they wanted Russell Wilson, and they was going to give him like Pat Mahomes type $400, $300 million contract for two years early, like they did Trevor Lawrence, and they shut it down. They told the Walmart family, no, you can't do that, because then the others going to want it. But if Trevor Lawrence already had it and Kirk Cousins already had it, then who the hell is they? The black quarterbacks. And that's exactly what happened. Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, and Kyler Murray wanted Deshaun Watson's deal because they was better than him. They performed better than him. They didn't just want it for no reason. And Kyler Murray got the exact dollar amount. Go look up Kyler Murray's contract and tell me how much it is. Lamar, I think, got pretty much the same dollar amount, but they didn't get the guarantees because it's documented. Nobody else can get what Deshaun had. And I'm like, what the hell did Deshaun do to get this kind of money? Because something must have happened. That's why I look at their contracts, because it tells part of the story. When I looked at Trevor Lawrence's contract, I said, how the hell did they give him this contract 2 years early and they got him buried over there till 2029 or 2030? And I said, they must hate the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Who is it? Oh, he not white. They're going to make sure that they don't go past the green light until they say he can. I'm like, they saddled the Jaguars with that guy. 2029? Bro, you know, it's still 3 years from now. And Trevor Lawrence wasn't like that, but they wanted to give him the money. So we need you to go down here. Don't worry about nothing. Here's the money. See, the money is supposed to make up for it. Jerry Jeudy. What we asking you to do, remember we gave you that money. Myles Garrett. Remember, we gave you that money. Why do you think they was leaning on him so hard? They probably was like, did you really think we was going to give you all this money and not tell you what to do? You out your damn mind. You can't come up here and do what you want to do. Now he knows. I think I just saw him on a Sports Illustrated ad or something like that. Good for him. But they can find something else for you to do, can't they? They can prop you up to where you want to be and give you what you never was going to get anyway, as long as they can control you. That's what it is. People like Shedeur, who not thirsty for the money, who not thirsty for the fame, who got his own damn shoe already, they don't like it. Ain't no asking him to take a dive like Jerry Jeudy or Joe Batonio. That's not happening. Just like Brian Flores said, no, they don't want none like that. That's why they got rid of Raheem Morris, because they have a plan. And Raheem Morris wasn't going to do that, even though, in my opinion, he probably would have, because the worst thing he did was sit there while they drafted Michael Penix Jr. first round and watch the owner go and get Kirk Cousins the March before the draft. And the owner tell him, I'm going to let you decide who to start. So basically, he had already was choosing first duties on the job. Are you going to do what I want you to do, or are you going to do what you want you to do? He got fired anyway, so he should have did what the hell he wanted to do and won. See, what they did was, by putting him under that kind of coercion, what they did was make him bend to their will. And that turned the fans against him. And that's what they used to fire him. Oh, the fans don't like you no more. Of course they don't. Because the fans saw Michael Penix Jr. The fans didn't know that the owner told him that. I read it. It's real. But most people don't read into stuff like that. I was like, why would you do that? Because you were damned if you did and damned if you didn't. And that tells you that they knew he wasn't going to be there long. Because it didn't matter what he decided. If he would have had the fan support, they still was going to get rid of him. It was just going to cause them some backlash. But they did it in a manner, they set him up from year one before the draft. This man had just got hired and was put in an impossible situation to bend to the will of his employer, to turn the fan base against him. They paid Kirk Cousins to be okay with it, and he still wasn't okay with it. And he still spoke out, but then he shut up. I'm sure they told him, did you really think we gave your 34-year-old self coming off of ACL $140 million or $180 million guaranteed for you to play for us? Nah, we want you to block him. He shut up. And they had another black quarterback over there at the 4 named Emory somebody. Emory Hunt, Emory Jones, I don't know. I don't know if I even saw him. He might not even be back next year. I don't know. But look at how far back they had him, and look at how horrible they treated Raheem Morris and how they set up Michael Penix Jr. They don't value Black people in the city of Atlanta. So you got to do a whole lot of tax writing off to make people buy into it. And you draft a young Black quarterback in the first round, but you still playing your reindeer games. And you tell him behind the scenes when you pay out, people were upset about that Kirk Cousins. Like, why would you do that? They didn't care. They just kept pushing forward because their job was to suppress Michael Penix Jr. So Atlanta took him to take him from some other team, knowing they wasn't going nowhere. They wasn't successful. That wasn't the plan. Just like it's not the plan in Cleveland. When the bad houses come out and say you're going to win 6 games, who the hell is the quarterback? How can you even come up with that? You don't even know who the quarterback is. And to say you're going to win 6 games with Shedeur, you must know there's going to be some sabotage because Shedeur is too goddamn elite. So basically, the betting houses are telling you, yeah, Shedeur might start, but he ain't going to get nowhere. So do you really want Shedeur to get out here and start and not get nowhere? Coach Prime going to have to show up for him to ball out because we know that that's what they do. And they still rip this man nail off in front of his daddy. These people cold-blooded, bro. Go back to this video and watch the first 2 to 3 minutes on what I said had me shook before I went live. And you're going to see how cold-blooded they are. You don't even know the half of it. If you ain't been keeping up and reading them e-files, you have no idea. It's worse than what we actually thought. It's just as inconceivable as feeding Black babies to alligators. It's on that level. Except for they ain't Black. It's actually worse than that in my opinion. It's probably the same or worse. Yep. That's what it is. These people are cold-blooded. Coach Prime was sitting right there. And they tried to get Shedeur hurt so Dylan could get in the game. And they knew the fans didn't like Dylan and they didn't care. And the fans had the boo. And Dylan didn't even play well. And they didn't care. It just couldn't be Shedeur. I don't give a damn if we win or lose. It just can't be him. Look what they did when Shedeur damn near tied up the damn game for the Bills. They took the ball, the snapper. They teach them if there's a missnap, you take the ball and run with it. You don't take the ball and throw it to the cameraman. Also, that the game isn't tied up while Shedeur is the quarterback. Are y'all serious? Yeah, they have shown you what they're capable of. And now you see all these Black wide receivers. Once Jerry Jeudy start stopping on his route, now everybody doing it. You're going to see more of it this year against Black quarterbacks, pit Black people together. That's why when I said what I said about, I hope and pray that Brendan Marion has a professional relationship with Coach Prime and respects him and values him as the leader of the team and is not out here doing some snake shit because it's a real thing. Look at how they pit these Black men together. Yes, I know y'all say Coach Prime hired him. The NFL have shown you how these people work. College ain't no different. All these people know each other across the leagues. College football, NFL, they know each other. Why you think they were trying to get Tommy Reese over here? So they could have an end to control Bryce Underwood, who they just set up for smoking a J with in the locker room. They got him anyway. You see how they do when they don't want you no more? They done with Sharon Moore. So I'm going to set up Bryce Underwood because that's what I wanted to do all along. I needed Sharon Moore to get the hell out the way. I just needed Sharon Moore to get him over here, just like they needed Coach Prime to get Travis over there. That's all it was. And now you see it happening elsewhere, so you know that that's what it is. Trinidad going to have to watch his back. He's a direct threat. And if he thinking I'm going to just go out here and ball out and be better than him, and they just going to leave it at that, and they just going to give you that opportunity, and they ain't going to put somebody on the inside, well, I don't know what to tell you, but I would study Shedeur's last 2 years. 2 years at Colorado. That's probably why I'm following that kid, because I already know. I know what it looked like. We've watched it. You would be naive to think any of this is above board in pure competition. It's far from it. Actually, what's happening is not even about football. It's about race and wealth transfer. That's all it's about. Nothing else. And the betting houses get to benefit from the rigging and the fixing of games that is rooted in racism. Why you think they can come out and say, y'all only gonna win 6 games? How you know that? Whenever I ask that question, there's no way you could possibly know that because they haven't even committed to the quarterback. So basically, you saying they don't want to win this year. They're not even doing nothing to win this year. And I have to agree with you. They want to keep Joel Bitonio. They don't say nothing about the wide receivers. They got rid of the best O-lineman they had. They got rid of Njoku, who was at the 2. They probably going to elevate the one that ripped off Shedeur's nail, and maybe it's time for him to get his reward. Then that's going to be Blake Whiteheart. Then that's going to be Canales, and they're going to want to use the tight ends more than the wide receivers, which ain't going to work for Jerry Jeudy, but he ain't supposed to care because he got money. And I don't know how they're going to move Harold Fader Jr. out the way, but maybe just like it ended is how it's going to start. Oh, you unavailable. Yeah, you injured. What are you going to do? He was disappointed when it happened before. He going to be disappointed again. If Shedeur is going to be the QB1, they got a plan. And I suggest you study Michael Penix Jr. year 2. That's why Michael Penix Jr. the turtle race. But does he know why he's injured and who's paying his salary and how that ties into why he's injured and how it benefits their agenda? I hope so. Because Shedeur better look out too. You see how they got Pat Mahomes because they ain't want him to come out either. And he restructuring his contract, being flexible for them so they can get somebody else. Let's see if it's Tyreek Hill because people think he's going to end up back in Kansas City because they found $25 million in cap space since Pat Mahomes chose to be flexible with them and restructure his contract again. I'm like, why give him the contract if you're just going to restructure it every year? And somebody was like, he can get the same money. I say, it ain't about that. Why you keep asking him to be flexible? Is nobody else over there could be flexible? Why does he have to be flexible? Go over there and ask Travis Kelce to be flexible. That was the point I was making. But I didn't say that to them. You know what I said? Got it. Thank you. I wasn't finna go down that road. Because some people can't see it. And I know they can't see it. So I'm not about to exhaust my windpipes explaining it. I told you, I'm not in the mood to explain. I'm not in the mood to convince. I don't mind explaining. I don't mind sharing. I am not in the mood to convince. It's my job to speak. It's God's job to convince. That's what it is. That's just what it is. Marcus Garvey did it. Marcus Garvey. Was that the one from Jackson, Mississippi? Yeah. Was that the one from Jackson, Mississippi? Or am I getting him mixed up with somebody else? That was notice how they were assassinating all of them back then. I was watching a documentary. If that was him from Jackson, Mississippi, was he Jamaican? Maybe it's somebody else. Might have been somebody else. But I was watching a documentary about the civil rights leader who was from Jackson, Mississippi, and I think they assassinated him. It was right on his driveway in Jackson. Amber, you probably know, y'all, the rest of y'all probably know too, but I say Amber because she went to Jackson State and she's still from the SIP. I realize they call it that now. Y'all might find me in Oxford, Mississippi. They might find me in Oxford, Mississippi at a game. I don't know. I might have to catch them on an away game. I can't imagine going to Ole Miss. But I never thought I would say GEAUX Rebels. Never, ever, 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 never, ever. And it just shows you the way things are today, they may not be tomorrow. I would have never thought the Mississippi judge would have sided with Trinidad Shamblers. The way things are today, they may not be tomorrow. So let's hope they're different in Cleveland. Let's hope fear has been put into them that they can be taken down and taken through federal court too and get their shit together and stop discriminating. Coach said, hell no, Jason Whitlock don't like black people. Coach said he like black people. He just a Cleveland fan. We love you, Coach. He's standing up for himself. Miss Pamela, Coach say he ain't no Jason Whitlock. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. They're holding on to black QBs to destroy their careers. That's it for right now. That's it. It said, Ramon said, Coach, his treatment towards the brothers, getting black players on the cheap. Yeah, that's what Barry does. That's what does. Black Star Liner. What's that, Julian? What's that? It said, I mean, he can only do so much with the Watson contract. He got Watson, Miles, Ward, and a bunch of other players paid. He got Miles Garrett paid, but yet he's controlled. So that's not fun. And he has to be okay with losing. So basically, he luring them into these situations. And they probably told Miles Garrett they was going to do this and do that, and they ain't do none of it, which is why he was frustrated. Then they got rid of his coach, and they wanted to lose with Dylan. They're paying these players so they can submit to whatever agenda they have against black quarterbacks. Miles Garrett don't want to go along with that. He just don't know yet that that's what he agreed to. Because if it's Malik Willis, he going to watch it happen to Malik Willis. And they just going to give Malik Willis Shedeur money, and they just going to keep Shedeur in front of Deshaun so they can screw over all three of them. Because Malik Willis can actually be on a contender. He could actually go to Minnesota. Why they don't want to send him over there? Draft to destroy. But we're going to give you this money and rub it in Shedeur face, but we ain't going to let you win either. So they want to divide the three of them and have them bickering at each other, which is when you saw the Watsons do this. Whatever you think of it, I'll take it. And that's supposed to piss Shedeur off. And he probably going to feel some type of way about it. He going to have to dig deep into his spirituality and go, if God wanted me to have it, he would have gave it to me. And since he didn't, I ain't worried about it. One thing about that money, it can keep you right there. The money, his contract is easy. And if the E-Files come this way and they got to make some moves, then Shedeur can move. Deshaun cannot. If Malik Willis take $40 million from them, he can't either. They don't mean none of them no good, but Shedeur is actually one that they can ship out of there. And that might be why it's good. He did not get drafted number 2 overall. Sometimes you have to see the message in the mess. And it might take him more time. He might see it. I don't know. Smart. He's pretty intelligent. But sometimes it takes a while before you get to that point. But if he had $40 million, he'd be stuck like Chuck, which is why they devalued him in the first place, because they knew they could get him at a deep discount. They didn't spend all that time with Shedeur pretending to draft him for nothing. They did that for a reason, to humiliate him and make him think he was going there, planning his life out, and then, drop him like a bad habit. To hurt and humiliate. That was the goal. That was it. Cruelty was the point. Yep. So, they going to get it. Because the unexpected is coming. So, his little light contract makes it easy to move him to Dallas or somewhere. Because if this E-Files hit home enough, they might need Shedeur, just like they did for the Pro Bowl, to cover up the E-Files when they came out. See how that works? So hang in there, Shedeur. If God don't close the door, then stay there, because there's something coming. And they needed you before, and they're going to need you again, and you're going to get what God wants you to have. And if they cut you, you'll be back, and you're going to get that contract. So let's just stay plugged in for the unexpected. Did we expect when Shedeur went to the Pro Bowl that the E-Files would come around? No, we didn't. And if you were following that situation, they were a month late. And I heard somebody say, why were the Files a month late? I'm like, so y'all don't even know, and y'all closer to the situation than us, so they could bury it with the Super Bowl. But there are people that don't know that. But that's what it was. Pro Bowl, Super Bowl. And they thought it would go away. It ain't going nowhere. It's going right out there to New Mexico. Those are Taylor Swift lyrics. Okay. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. It said, love you, coach. Stop trolling. It said, pivot to Monken, and we know he has to revamp the program for Stefanski 2.0. Thanks. That's all they did was switch the coach out with the same plan. Coach, if that's who you are, thank you for being here today and helping the channel. Thank you. Julian say thank you, coach. We like coach. We like coach. We used to him. We like him, but he's the only dissenter I think we have. The Caitlin Clark situation. Oh, okay. Thank you for that. Then she makes a lot more than a lot of the women in the league. Yep. That's true. if we talk about Angel, I mean, Caitlyn does, they all got the same contract, but the endorsements keep Angel and Caitlyn. Now, Caitlyn is way up there because remember, Nike gave her that $28 million contract. So that was crazy. So they got to get their money back. So they gave Juju a contract and they going to get their money back. Everybody, there's a lot of people that can't wait for Juju to get to the WNBA, but they need to get their bargaining process together. They still working on that. It said it is the endorsements. She was the highest paid on college women basketball at LSU. You know what? You're right. Because she was making like $2 million at LSU. You're right about that. So you think it's that. Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Pretty brown eyes. Welcome back, by the way. It said, does anyone care about the Chicago Bears possible going to a North Indiana town? I think the fans in Chicago will have a fit. Why would they want to go to Indiana? Well, don't they already have a team over there? Indianapolis Colts, Indianapolis, Indiana. Did I get that wrong? Bloomington, Indiana, right? Bloomington is in Indiana too. Why the hell would they go there? Why would they go there? Why would they mess up a good thing with Chicago? Why would they want to move? Am I missing something? Oh, because of Chicago, that is black, like a lot, and Indiana is not. Indiana's like Ohio, from what I heard. They both have some. They were never states that were welcoming for black people back when racism was bad in the South, because Ohio is a travesty. Yeah. Ohio is out of this E-file situation. I think that's the worst state. Yeah. That's why I said connect the dots to the owners of these teams and to these people in these files, because that's who they give money to. Birds of a feather, flock together. I might not be into that, but I know about it. And that's not excusable. That's not okay. That's not okay. Is that I'm sure Malik don't want to go to the Browns. I'm sure he don't either, but I'm pretty sure the $40 million is to make him feel comfortable to lose, because they're not giving him $40 million for his skill set. They giving him $40 million because they want to rub it in Shedeur face, and we want you to stay over here and lose. Now, the reason why I don't think they're gonna get Malik Willis is because the Manning kid come out next year. So why would I pay Malik Willis $40 million this year? Oh, I know why. So when the Manning kid come, I put him in front of Malik Willis. Okay. But it don't make sense to pay Malik Willis like that. But Malik said, if I'm not mistaken, when he first got to Green Bay, I saw an interview that he did. They were asking him about how the people at Tennessee treated him. He said, my check was direct deposited every time, on time. I have no problems with them. And I miss them. Talking about the lady that owned the team, Amy or somebody. When he said that about the money, what he was saying was, I don't give a damn what y'all do, but you're going to pay me. So that's how he didn't worry about what happened in Tennessee. I mean, he didn't like it, but what he was saying is, I got paid on time, right? That's all that matters. This is a job. It's good he thinks like that, but I know he wants to start. Now, they will go get him for a year. They would give him $40 million to rub it in Shedeur face, but the Manning kid is still coming, and somebody got to get out the way. So, yeah. But Andrew Berry like to get people for cheap, so I don't know if he's going to give Malik Willis 40. I don't see it. People keep saying that's what's going to happen. I'm like, I don't see it, because all he does is devalue the black players. They had no choice. See, people think the Browns had a choice, and they had hopes and dreams of making it somewhere, which is why they heavily invested in Deshaun. No, that's some kind of deal that can't nobody else get, because something happened that we don't know about. And Deshaun got reimbursed every dime he paid those women, which made the NFL look like they were holding him accountable. But for what? Because 2 Texas grand juries found him innocent. So essentially, he got paid to be scapegoated. And that's why I said, I hope Deshaun know what the hell going on. And when him and his wife did this, I was like, I know these two. Are they showing me their watches? Or are they doing like this? So I'm going to take it as Shedeur. That means he know what's going on. And that's good. Because at one time, I don't think he knew. When they had Deshaun helping Shedeur on the side at the Vegas game. That was the first time they let him do that. They didn't want them two talking. Nobody wants Deshaun telling Shedeur, you know you can get your money because this is how I got mine. Because Shedeur got a case. All they don't want to cut Shedeur. They just want him to get comfortable with being a backup. And they don't want to pay him for it. They just want to use him for likes and clicks as a backup. And they're hoping that his passion, dreams, desire to be a quarterback in the NFL is enough to make him submit because they're not paying him. I thought they was going to get Mac Jones, but they still want the Manning kids, so they're not going to do that to a white quarterback. And if so, they're going to give him a hell of a deal like they did Kirk Cousins to come over here and just block because that's all they do. I don't need you to win. Just come over here and block Shedeur. I'm going to give you about $80 million for 1 year. Something weird like that. And then in 2 years, I'm going to trade you. The Manning King will come over. You're going to show him what to do. And I'm going to let him play. And you just going to help him out. And this $80 million a year is going to help you to shut up. Yeah. Kirk Cousins all over again. Shedeur, Michael Penix Jr., Mac Jones will be Kirk Cousins. You think they want Malik Willis balling out before the Manning kid get there? But they'll win with Mac Jones and get Mac Jones, and they'll sell the story of, Mac Jones is tutoring the Manning kid, and you're going to see Peyton Manning on the field. Yeah. Absolutely. So Mac Jones, I can see. But they shouldn't be talking about quarterback, period. They have quarterbacks, and they need to be hauled in the federal court to tell why they sabotaging their own quarterbacks. And has Dylan figured out that they was playing in his face? Maybe they told him before he signed his contract. You know, you're supposed to be an undrafted free agent. We're going to give you this $9 million or $6 million. It's more than Shedeur get. And we're just going to put you in front of Shedeur and be happy with this money. That's all they do. Jerry Judy, just be happy with this money, but I need you to slow down on the routes. Don't be Superman out here. Yeah. There's a war. You know you got $100 million contract. Understand that whole conversation that he should have never been a part of was a message. In the offseason, I don't need you talking about Shedeur because, we could cut you. You don't think they do that? Of course they do. They put things out there in the atmosphere, just like they did about Malik Willis at $40 million. I'm like, cool, do it. That was a direct message in reply to Shedeur, who said $40 million. I'm like, why you know what he said? That's their attitude. Oh, okay, I'm going to show you. We're going to get Malik Willis for $40 million. Well, do it then. That's what I would say. Because Shedeur probably know by now they want the Manning kids, so he don't believe that anyway. And I wouldn't give down. I would be like, cool, keep me cheap because I can get out of here. And if I want to quit, I ain't missing that much. They said Shedeur made more money off the field than he made on the field. So really, him being over there, he making jersey money. He got his endorsements. So you want to use me for likes and clicks? When you think you're using me, God using you. Keeping his brand going. That's why he got his 2 legendary page. Keeping his brand going. Something they didn't want, right? What they going to do? Cut him? They ain't going to do that. They don't even want to do that. They just want to rub it in his face and keep him over there rather than go somewhere else and start his own. The moment one of them say that out loud, it is a message. Yeah, I could just start my own league. Yeah, me and my brother, we might just play together. They don't want to hear that shit. Look at how fast they worked to give Travis his contract on a Sunday because he went fishing with Coach Prime. And they thought they controlled everything. They couldn't control that, could they? These people are evil. Cold-blooded, don't even cut it. Go back and look at the first 3 minutes, 2 minutes of this video and find what I made reference to. It's out there. Just do a quick search. It said, remember, all money ain't good money. Facts. It said Black Starliner is how I relate to the Black family in America. Is that a song? Is that what you're saying? Is that a song? They're building them a new stadium. Yeah. We're going to see who be over there. We're going to see who get over there. It said Chicago is getting a new stadium. So is Chicago getting a new stadium in Chicago? Or is Chicago getting a new stadium in North Indiana? Let me know. I don't know why they will move. And I'm assuming they're getting a dome because that's the only way you can play the Super Bowl in Chicago. It's too cold. I heard up north, all those stadiums supposed to be dome stadiums that once they get them. And the Buffalo Bills' new stadium is actually smaller than the old stadium. And they fans had a petition. 40,000 fans signed a petition. Only 900 fans, 942 fans. We contributed about maybe to 42. But I think we've contributed maybe about 38. Because when I sent it out, it was 904. Now it's at 942. So I think we contributed the difference. It said, I am from Jamaica, a Marcus Garvey, an American black worker who thought you all had gold on these streets. Oh, you a Jamaican? Pretty brown eyes. Oh, okay. Watson was scapegoated. Facts. It said there's a song you should listen to, Pretty Brown Eyes by Sanchez, Brown Eyed Girls. Okay, I'll listen to it. I'll listen to it. Check out Pretty Brown Eyes by Big Condition, Straight Fire. Nah, that's facts. Nah, I know that. That's straight facts. You're right about that. 119 of us, hit the like button, please. Hit the like button, hit the like button. All right, we get ready to wrap up. We over 2 hours. Let's see. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to pop up. I don't know when. It could be somewhere around noon, and it could be somewhere around 4, like I typically do sometimes when we do it in the huddle. So we got the lunch and learn. That's what we call it today. And then we got the huddle. So it'll be somewhere between there. It said, yeah, that's my jam. Yeah, Pretty Brown Eyes is beautiful. How much is a backup worth? Well, let's see. The Bears gave their D2 or D3 backup $10 million to back up Caleb, which is why Ben Johnson only got one coach of the year vote because he went too far with Caleb. He wasn't supposed to be doing all that. I guess they didn't tell him. Because we just gave his backup $10 million, which is high. So about $4 million, $5 million. I wonder how much Cooper Rush made. Let me see. I'm curious. Because he's a backup, right? Zach Wilson, also a backup. Wilson is the guy in Miami. I think he was upset that they allowed Quinn Ewers to play over him. Anybody know who quarterbacks are in Miami? Cooper Rush contract. He's a backup behind Lamar. 2 years, $6.2 million. See, that's all you get. Cooper Rush signed a 2-year, $6.2 million contract with the Baltimore Ravens in March of 2025 to serve as Lamar Jackson's backup, potentially reaching $12 million with incentives. Remember, what's his name? Flacco had the same. Remember, Flacco had a $4 million contract, but he didn't get off his couch for the $4 million. He got off his couch for the incentives that totaled $13 million. With incentives, that $4 million went to $13 million, just like you read about 6.2 for Cooper Rush can get up to 12. That's the backup. That's what they want Shedeur to accept, what Cooper Rush is. The problem is Shedeur is too elite for that. I don't know if Cooper Rush was ever elite. If all you've ever been is a backup in college and they signed you undrafted and they paid you $10 million like they're doing the guy in Chicago behind Caleb because they had plans to move Caleb out, then I get it. But you can't take somebody like a Shedeur and Lamar and expect them to be okay with a backup. And they just paid Mark Andrews, who's 30 years old, a 3-year contract for $39 million. But they asked Lamar, who's 28, is he ready to retire? I can't wait. And I wonder how long it'll be before people realize that this is happening to all Black quarterbacks, to their faves. So it'll be interesting to see. All right, y'all, I'm going to get myself out of here. The show was straight fire tonight. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hey, Mac, how you doing? Welcome back. I think I remember you hanging out with us. Am I right? Well, welcome back, Mac, if I am. Welcome back. Archman can run. He definitely the most athletic in his family. Okay. North Indiana. Oh, okay. They're getting a new stadium in North Indiana. Wow. No, I had no idea. Why did I move from Chicago? You think people will be talking about that, but I haven't heard that. That's interesting. So they get a new stadium, and do the fans know? Because they got some diehard fans in Chicago. Is Chicago that close to North Indiana? Like, stadium to stadium? Because the Browns just moving right up the street. They're not even moving an hour away. So I don't know. So that's how much a backup is, Julian. Cooper Rush makes $6.2 million with up to $12 million in incentives. Flacco made $4 million with up to $13 million in incentives. So anywhere from Flacco has been in the league about 20 years though. Cooper Rush, I don't think he's been around that long. 6.2. So anywhere from $4 to $6 to $10 million. $10 million is on the high end for a backup. That's why I said they had plans for Caleb. So yeah, Chicago, I had no idea they were trying to move. That's crazy. That's nuts. Let me look that up right fast. We're gonna get out of here. That's nuts. I would think people would talk about that. Maybe the fans not happy. Man, I typed in "get it" and it popped right up. I said, "Are the Chicago Bears get it?" It said, "Yes, the Chicago Bears are actively seeking to build a new modern enclosed stadium to replace Soldier Field with a major shift in focus towards Northwest Indiana as of February 2026, while the team purchased land in Arlington Heights, Illinois, which is a suburb, sound like it, for a potential $5 billion stadium complex in 2023. Stadium complex. Remember, everybody wants the Star. Jerry Jones spent $5 billion on land for the Star. And he didn't just build the Star on it. They have high-end $1 million homes sitting on the land that he sold to developers. They have a world-class hotel, the Star, Ford Amphitheater Arena, where they did like the Big 12 Pro Day and stuff like that. All of these like mall shopping, restaurants, outdoor shopping. That's what they're doing. Everybody wants that. So that's why they're moving, to get their Star. Every team wants a Star and will move to get it because they're making it about real estate and not football. That's one of the reasons the Browns are probably so arrogant, because they're moving away from football being the main thing, which means I don't have to give a damn what you think. I'm getting this stadium. I've already bought this land. I can do what Jerry Jones did and sell the land to high-end developers, which is going to bring me money. And then if you from Atlanta, the Battery around it. If you from Texas, the Woodlands or Sugarland around it. All of this high-end shopping and restaurants and hotels. That's what they're doing. The football becomes a petting zoo. Something to keep activity happening on the field so I can make money from the TV deals. That's why some of the newer stadiums are smaller in capacity, which means higher ticket prices, less people, and everybody can watch it on TV instead. Yep. That's a win-win for them. From a business perspective, it's damn good. The problem is you can give a damn about the football, but the football is just a means to an end for real estate. That's it. But it's a shame that they can't appreciate the football, which got them the Star in the first place. And it's probably because the majority of the players are Black, and that's why the Browns, actually, it was said, we talked about this previously, they were on a mission to make most of their skilled players white. With Njoku gone, it's only Harold Fanning Jr. and 3 other white tight ends. Let's see who they get for wide receivers, which is why they're not talking about it. Yeah. That was already discussed. When Shedeur first got drafted there, that was already discussed that, and I said, well, it makes sense because they drafted Mason Graham. They drafted Carson Swessinger. Both of them got guaranteed contracts, and all the Black guys they drafted, none of them did, and they all got devalued. Every last one. Why would this draft be any different? They could have drafted Dylan in the second round, but they wasn't trying to win, so why pay him that money? We weren't trying to win. I'm damn sure not paying Shedeur $40 million. So if they pay Malik Willis $40 million, it's so he can block Shedeur this year and get the hell behind Arch Manning next year and shut up. That's it. They don't have to treat the football this way. Football don't even have to be as violent as it is. They don't have to smash each other up in practice to play football. To practice, they don't have to do that. That's how they keep the cycle of new players every 3 years. That's how they keep getting paid for injuries. They don't have to treat the football as nasty as they do. And they ungrateful because that's what gets them their star. That's what gets them their billions. They don't give a damn. They see these Black players as a commodity. That's why they don't want these Black coaches. I don't want you making no decisions because their plans are sinister. And they already learned that if I ask a Black coach to take a bribe to lose, they're going to tell. And they should, because the players that they targeted are Black. So that's why they don't want Black GMs. That's why they only fired Black GMs. Why they trying to reduce the number of Black quarterbacks. The Browns are not the only team trying to go to mostly white skilled players. They just the ones that said it out loud. Look at what they're doing with the quarterback position, changing it to the check down kings so they can go white. They could get some Black check down kings. Why they ain't talking about that? Because they don't want no Black quarterbacks. Or they want to get away with only a few so nobody call them racist while they continue to bring Black people close. Why you need us? If you want to go to mostly white players, if you want to move to white towns, what the heck you need us for? So we can watch it on TV and let them get that $452 million check each. That's why they need us. So that's what it is. All right, y'all, we're going to get out of here. And thank you. Thank you. I did look it up, Val. It is North Indiana. So Val is correct, and everybody else that said it. The Chicago Bears apparently are trying to get this stadium over here in North Indiana. It says they're actively seeking to build, and it said the team purchased land in Arlington Heights, Illinois. So the land is in Illinois, but now they want to shift focus to North Indiana. And why do you think that is? To be around who? Because the stadiums benefit the community. So what community do I want to benefit? Not the one that's 42% Black. All right, so I hope this was a learning session as well. You have been informed. I hope you know what it is. Go run this back and listen to what I said the first 1 or 2 minutes. You'll know what I'm talking about. And look into it for your own self so you can know what the hell is really going on. You need to understand what people were capable of, right? So we're going to get out of here. I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Y'all have a good night. And hit the like button on the way out for me, please. And subscribe if you're new to the channel. See y'all tomorrow, gang. Bye-bye.